Hello, fellow teacher. For this first video, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Laura, and I've been working with multilingual learners for the last 14 years. I'm a high school science teacher, and I am here as your virtual content specialist, and hopefully be a useful resource to help you support your students in the science classroom. First, just a reminder that the living environment content is organized by unit and by day. For example, this Google Slides belongs to Unit 5 and day 14th. Pages number 6 and number 7 are where you're going to be able to find the specific strategies for multilingual learners. Page 6 is going to offer more general strategies, whereas page number 7 is going to offer more specific strategies that pertain to the unit and the lesson that you're trying to teach following these Google Slides. Let's start by reviewing some of the general strategies that you may want to use throughout your lesson. To begin with, it's very important to make sure that the students have the background knowledge before you start teaching the lesson. So you're going to need some kind of building background knowledge strategy or a strategy that helps you or helps your students activate that prior knowledge that they already have. If you're trying to build background knowledge, you may want to share a link to a video that you have created for your students, or even a link to a shorter text that the students can read independently just before the lesson. If you want to activate prior knowledge, maybe you want to start your lesson with a problem or a question or an image that is going to help your students get that prior knowledge that you need them to have for the rest of the lesson. Next strategy is to help you target vocabulary development. Remember that it's very important for the students to have language objectives throughout the lessons. They are not just learning content, but they're also learning language. So some of the strategies you can use are to share cognates or prepare a glossary of the most important words before the lesson. That means pre-teach those words before the lesson, teach prefixes and suffixes and rules. Especially in science, those are extremely helpful. The next strategy has to do with access. It is extremely important to provide the right scaffolds to English language learners so they can also access to those texts and those readings in that level that we want them to get to. Some of the strategies that you can use to achieve that are the KW charts or the See, Think, Wonder strategy, even the 3 reads and other strategies that we're going to be talking about throughout this series of videos. And of course, don't forget to use home language whenever you can. Translanguaging, maybe somebody in the classroom that also speaks the language can help new students in your classroom. You can use Google Docs Translate. You can use Google Slides Translate as well. You can use online dictionaries. And of course, like promote oral discourse through digital tools in home language and English by pairing their students with the other students that may be able to help them. And last but not least, always practice culturally responsive pedagogy. Take an interest for the culture and the beliefs of your students, and don't forget to make them active participants in your classroom. Try to design time for them to meet with other peers in the class and build knowledge upon each other. Encourage your students to use different media to convey their understanding or message, and take suggestions from your students through surveys or through questioning your students. Make sure your students are helping to design rubrics in the classes, and make sure to establish always a time in your classes for students to reflect on their own learning. Page number 7, as I said before, is going to offer you more specific scaffolds that are in relationship with the topic that the students are studying. On slide number 7, you can already see a variety of links that are going to help your students to use advanced literacies through engaging text, risk discussions, the use of high utility vocabulary words, and the daily writing. Following the principles of the NGSS standards, we will always start by launching our anchor phenomenon or introducing our performance task. To engage your students, I recommend that you use videos, images, articles,
puzzles, or even Padlets.
in the next section, you can already see some of the ideas and strategies that we have been talking about, like access the students' prior knowledge and use closed captioning in the videos and share cognates and pre-teach vocabulary to the students.
Especially those high utility words that you're going to use throughout the lesson. You can also use different scaffolds and always make sure that you're connecting the topic to the real world. In this case, connecting the topic to the immortal sense of Henrietta Lacks, I'm sure that that's going to spark a lot of great discussions in your classroom, not only about genetics, but also about racial injustice. And finally, let's not forget of the power of writing, especially for our multilingual learners. At the end of the unit, we're going to always add a culminating task that can be as a reflection of paragraph writing. It can be a mere paragraph, it can be an essay, or it can be a lab report. It's through writing that our multilingual students are going to acquire the academic language and also the knowledge. And voila, just like that, I finished my first video for you. I'll be developing all these concepts and all these strategies in further videos. And hopefully these strategies help you help your multilingual students in the science classroom. Bye-bye.